Okay, so I'm just recording off the dome here. This recording is very cursed. We kind of had like the epitome of ADHD during this, and we were all, or at least I was tired. I don't know about Crafty. He has like a different time schedule than me. But yeah, this recording is cursed, and I learned that I just need to rewatch Dragon Ball. Because apparently I got MK Ultra Mind swiped. I don't know. Just enjoy. Anyways, to the recording. I don't know if this will ever see the light of day. We're watching or reacting to Surfbone. Goku is not beyond time. Here's why. Um, yeah, I have my scale. I put him anywhere for massively faster than light to infinite travel speed, infinite to limited immeasurable combat speed. Um, Once Crafty gets back, I'll get his take on that. Then we were watching this peak content. Old Mr.crafty videos go hard. Yeah, so we be watching Goku is not beyond time. Here's why by Surfbone. And this is my scale. I gave like I just shotgunned a bunch of different scales from massively faster than light to infinite travel speed, and then infinite to limited immeasurable combat speed. What's your take?
I think he can be scaled to all of those as well. But if you're using the manga, you can't use the immeasurable speed thing with hit because it's just
Yeah.
explained. But if you use the anime, which is literally he just state like I remember King Kai just even states you jumped into the future.
Yeah, it's something wild like that.
Yeah,
Um,
like it's more
at
blatant.
the very least, it's in the dub. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because I know I
It's literally
yeeted it.
more. But even without that, I mean, there's just the statements that what's it called? The concept of time doesn't exist inside the what's it called? And like it's true because they don't
Oh, in
mean
the
nothing.
other world.
Yeah, even inside the wall of nothing, void of nothingness, some new guides came out apparently, and it states that the concept of time and space don't exist there. Apparently, you
That's
know.
wild.
Yeah,
If
but
they're
also,
link, because I've heard the link duality argument, but if it blatantly says like space isn't a thing there, that's wild. But where is my
it's
video? This one. I think I show it in dub at least.
yeah,
Yeah, right here.
yeah, right here.
Goku is fighting
I've
Hit,
seen it
who
in
is
sub.
forcing himself into the future.
Epic
Hey,
Minecraft
you're willing
footage.
to gamble. That fight with Hit, when you were predicting his moves, you weren't just guessing. You were forcing your way into the future for an advantage, weren't you? Yeah, so?
And in the
Yeah.
It's kind of,
It's kind of like, anyways,
he did.
there's
He
definitely
did.
arguments for why some of the hit things wouldn't be like, especially within the manga, like it's blatant, where it's like, yeah, this is just like a weird hacks thing.
Oh, fun fact actually. This is actually for the manga. You know intertransmission, right? On the
Yeah.
official website of Dragon Ball, they say the speed of instant transmission is the same speed as time traveling. It's like with the time machines. So, and
Interesting.
you know how Granola was just raw speed faster than like
Oh
instant
yeah, okay.
transmission.
I think Serpone mentions that right here or something.
He does. Oh shit! Wait, let me see.
I don't know. We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. That's like the pinned comment. Actually,
Yeah, I
how
was gonna
long
say
is
like
this
that's.
pinned comment? Oh, it's not that long. But
Oh,
anyways, 20-minute video. We're gonna
by the way,
probably
if you want,
pause and talk a lot.
by the way, anyone who's like watching this, if my background's bad, just suck it up, bro. This is anime. This is fucking anime. Who cares? If
Yeah,
you
honestly, it's just fucking anime, man. Anyways,
also Surfbone. I'm not too confident in my debating skills. Don't chew my ass
yeah,
again.
honestly.
But like,
Yeah,
I
Serpone's
won't
pretty
be a
intelligent from what I've seen, but goddamn.
yeah. I won't be a bitch though. I won't. I will come. I will debate you. Wait, no, cut that out.
Yeah, no, I'm not cutting that out. Have fun.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're getting incredibly sidetracked. Anyways, I mentioned Surfbone in one of my videos. Yes, he's cool, I guess. Anyways, fucking continue restarting video. God damn it.
Dragon Ball and its power scaling
Surfbone,
is
I'm
often
so
a big talk amongst the anime community, more specifically on how well the main character of Son Goku compares to the rest of fiction in regards to how far he gets into it. And just like how every MC has their own cult following that states they solo everyone,
don't think he's
Goku
boundless.
is always brought up as the primary example. For
Your
today's
cancer
video,
is pretty
going over
strong.
the-
Let me fight it.
Goku is
I
always
love that so much.
brought up as the primary example. With today's video, going over the many arguments on whether or not some of Goku's own feats are demonstrations of infinite speed,
Wait, pause.
inaccessible speed.
Ooh, wait, maybe he disagrees with infinite speed. Okay.
That'd be interesting. But like, no, I just want to say, if we're using canon Goku, I feel like it's hard. I'm not saying it's not easy to. I'm not saying the feats are blatant or it's a stretch, from my own opinion and your opinion, from what I know of. But if you use like non-canon stuff, that shit's just blatant, you know.
Like within filler or within like what?
No, well, the filler's canon to the anime.
Yeah, I was like, you
Like,
can argue that being canon, but what do you
no,
mean by like non-canon, like
okay,
Xenoverse?
well, yeah, fucking Xeno, but like, bro, I love the fact in like Xeno Goku's so fucking strong that him going Super Saiyan is just fucking will destroy everything. But anyway, that's just Super Saiyan. But like, so he just never transforms. Like, damn. But no, what I was gonna say, like for an example, like in the movies, we got fucking Cooler, just like intercepting and fighting mid instant transmission, and inside the data book it says this actually kind of falls in line with the official like statement about like how fast the instant transmission speed is, right? But in the data book it says the instant transmission is beyond time and space, like it's a realm beyond time or some or time and
What the
distance.
fuck?
I
It
don't know, like
probably
when
just
you
means that it's like it probably
when you
just means that
tell
it's like manipulating space time to like go within like
no,
basically a wormhole.
you know that it's like the realm they enter is beyond time or some shit. I don't know. Time and distance.
That's some weird shit. I need to look at that. I haven't seen that.
I'll send you this again, but again, that's like non-canon. So anyway,
Anyways, yeah, back to video. 27 seconds in.
Or
We'll get there
even
eventually.
immeasurable speed. Now, while my general thoughts on this are already public, I feel like some people are more a fan of well-constructed counter-arguments to these positions in a formal
Did you say
video
woke?
instead of an impromptu stream with
No.
off-the-dome arguments. I
Like,
want to die.
I know,
Minecraft.
sir.
So, let's get
Wait,
into
that's
it.
Kuro Sensei. Well, I just want to say this, Kuro Sensei. If you watch this, I'm making a video debunking Shinra. So yeah, be prepared for that.
I have no comment. Anyways,
The first thing we need to establish is the common mistake that can be noticed whenever people come to certain conclusions in regards to certain feats a character performs. This being
I'm just gonna
the
turn off
disregarding of
closed
context
captions.
and
Yeah, that's
internal
annoying.
consistency. Context being, for simplicity's sake, the circumstances that form the setting for an
I
event,
love the way he
statement, or
formats his
idea,
videos.
and in
He
terms
just-
of which can
he
be
just
fully
breaks it down
understood
so
and
nicely.
assessed. So whenever we look at fictional fights, for example, we must first assess the plot and the events occurring within the story to truly establish the significance of certain statements made or the impressiveness of particular actions that characters and or forces of nature perform. When we do this, we end up developing what is called an internal consistency, or how consistent a work is with itself. And the best way to establish a good internal consistency is by coming up
That would
with
be something
holistic
I'd like to
interpretations
watch.
that
Wait,
take
real
into
quick.
account.
Sorry, this is a side note. I would love to watch Drip Sauce and Surfbone debate.
yeah, that'd be kind of interesting to see go down. Yeah, they're
I
like
would
two
actually
complete
pay-
opposites.
Yeah, I would pay to like watch that
Yeah,
actually.
who you got your money on? That's the real question.
Like if it's like a fair debate, like not like it's like Drip Sauce got goons. Sorry for watching this. I'm sorry. We're chill, but you got goons. If it's like in a like a neutral place, like a random GC filled with neutral people, and they just can't jump and interrupt, right? I got my money on Surfbone.
I think that's
Like
fair.
he's just such. Yeah, if you're watching this, I'm not trying to suck your dick, Surfbone. You have just such a, from what I know, you're a pretty calming and just intelligent person. I feel like that just like overwhelms people. You know.
Well, from my understanding, he's bad at phrasing himself, but in video construction, he's pretty good at it.
Well, to be fair, when you write down your thoughts, you get to think about it. You know.
Yeah.
Like that, I'm the same way. Like I cannot form an argument.
Well, bro, you debate. What do you mean?
Okay, yeah, but my only like notable, I feel like my only big wins was against. Well, I quote unquote drawed against Noodles, even though that was a long time ago. But I feel like he could have beat me. It would just be nice. But I take the win. And I don't know, but like in Tempest's server, I beat Mog. He conceded, but that was like inverse, you know. So like JJK inverse. I'm just
Wait, who conceded?
Magi.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is. I'm be real. I'm out of the community at this point.
Yeah, I'm like your only ties.
Honestly, yeah, you
Me
and Shag.
Yeah.
I'm just in my corner, okay?
Out everything that is presented
like
to
her.
us from the story
You're like her.
in
What's
order
his
for
name?
the series to
Clyde,
make the
you're
most
Clyde.
sense.
Honestly.
That's what we're trying to do whenever we power scale or delve into any type of narrative analysis. Make the most sense of a story with what is presented to us and provide an interpretation with the least amount of contradictions and more explanatory power. And the best way to come to which is the better interpretation is by contrasting and comparing
Oh
the
wait,
many
yeah, I
different
forgot about that. Oh yeah. So apparently, Akira Toriyama made a statement that like the fight between like Goku Black and all that was like transcending time and space or some shit.
What the fuck?
Which, to be fair, in a sense they did, but Goku Black did cut into by his own definition, a higher reality. So like with the Scythe, remember when he did that?
Yeah, I don't have a statement for that shit though. You said
I
that there was
have
some
this.
statement with it.
So there's like it was. I vaguely remember it saying it was a higher, but I know for sure it said it's a realm beyond the understanding of the mortals and gods, or like they've no god or mortals ever been, some shit like that. It's like he said he couldn't even understand it. So
Weird.
to come to which is the better interpretation.
Not outer. Well, I will box you.
I'm joking, obviously. You and me are you.
No,
and
no,
me
no,
are
no, no. Let's be real. Let's be real. It's beyond human comprehension. Therefore, it's above the tiering system because we comprehend the tiering system. Come on.
Wait, I'm gonna use that argument now.
Okay. Have fun.
Is by contrasting and comparing the many different
Most
ways
people
one can
can't
interpret
debate
a
that,
statement
but-
or certain feats, and determine what would make the most sense to be true when considering the entire story.
By
In
the
other
way,
words, we
Vegito
often-
manga kind of solos the verse. Current manga Vegito would solo the verse. In manga.
Oh yeah, fucking manga Vegito is wild.
He's cracked. Like holy shit.
Like that statement has to be wrong, bro. Like it's like what the fuck.
It was stated in verse and in the data book. Like
And in the data book.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
have to discuss and debate about it in
Also, if you don't know what we're talking about, stated to be stronger than Beerus, I believe, right? Ooh, he
It
just
was
imploded.
equal- Sorry,
What demonic activities?
No, it's all the Beerus stands out there. No, it's stated he's equal or greater than Beerus.
Yeah, equal or greater than. Yeah, it's all Beerus. People will be like, yeah, fuck this shit. I won't allow this to stand.
You know, Beerus is probably a perfect definition of a destroyer. I really like him.
Yeah, he's a great character. But anyways, 2 minutes into the video, we'll eventually get through this.
in order to come to a consensus about what would be the most consistent. So, let's look at these arguments and talk about the many.
We're
many-
finally getting to the arguments. By the way, everything he said was valid. Obviously, you need to look at context within narratives. So
Yeah, like something. I know you don't know. You guys won't know who this is. Just say liminal, right? I feel like we have people like liminal just solely rely on like, I guess the narrative of the series, but like you should look at context and narrative, but also implicate other things. You know, like
yeah,
I think it goes both ways, but like to an extent, I feel like context is like one of the most great. Like people would wank. Sorry, I'm getting off topic. People would wank Saitama to like 4D or immeasurable speed because of the whole transcending time and space statement. But that was
yeah. But then you look at the context for like 2 seconds, and you're like, huh.
He's just time traveling. That's literally what it means. by that.
And he had Garo's help for that shit. It's like, bro.
And like, yeah, he was just sucking him off. Like, and he said that's one of 3 different scenarios. So we don't even know if that was actually what happened.
Yeah, that's some weird shit. But anyways, 2 minutes into the video.
No,
Many
let's
issues you then run
calculate
into
this. If it
when
takes us
trying
2
to
minutes,
rep
How long
certain
have I...
interpretations.
Quick question. How long have I been recording for?
Alright, so here's the
18
thing.
minutes. Okay, okay.
So every 2 minutes we have 18. Every
This is gonna be a long thing.
of feats.
The thumbnail better be funny as hell.
Okay, first thing, Goku versus
This
Beerus.
is a common one that gets
Oh wait,
misunderstood by
there's
almost
I
everyone.
forgot. That just reminded me.
including
God
Debunk.
damn it, Crafty.
I'm sorry, and I feel like he's gonna mention this when the Chozetsu, right? That's like another guy. It's like the Daizenshuu, but only for super. Stated that the gods of destructions are like Beerus, transcends time and space, and technically they.
Well, where are these guidebooks coming from?
That's what I'm wondering. But like, if you want to
Like
argue,
what? What Goku anchor just pulled this up and we're like, yeah,
okay,
Goku.
wait, there's one statement that this random ass this I guarantee this is fake. It's just I keep on asking where's it come from. Like, oh, from this Twitter post. I'm like, oh, okay.
Twitter.
And
What's
but
your
like, no,
source? Twitter.
not the Chosetsu statement. It was some random. It was called the Dragon Ball Super
Yeah,
NC.
yeah, you told me about this. You told me about this, and I was
Yeah,
like, I don't think that exists. I
yeah,
looked into it.
but the Chosetsu statement, and like, if you want to argue, I'm sorry, I would speak quick. If you want to argue that the god, like, since Beerus and Goku almost destroyed the macrocosm, you could maybe argue that's true. I don't know.
Yeah, continue time.
Battle, in which the argument details that Goku and Beerus must scale to the speed of their clashes that echoed across the macrocosm during the Battle of Gods arc.
Yeah, that's another way of arguing. Within this aspect, you could argue that they do not scale to specifically their attack speed. It's just like, for example, you can throw a ball, and it will be faster than you can run. Is the best way to put it.
That's true. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, well, not for me. I could go and grab it, you know. Wait, I always been like, I always thought that argument like, yes, wait, but like, wouldn't they be? No, wait, that's like their shockwave, though. Wouldn't they be? I'm not saying I disagree.
Well,
Just
okay,
question.
so you could argue that slapping, this is like some niche shit within science, to be fair, but you could argue that slapping like a stone brick would move the particles and cause like a chain reaction on the other side. That would be like, I don't even know how fast. It would be incredibly fast, from my understanding, and it would be, it would just, it'd be probably relative to speed of sound, from my understanding. We do not scale to that, right, Crafty?
Speak for yourself.
Okay, okay.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, I guess you're right, but I correct me if I'm wrong. Is there ever any statements? Yeah, they don't really scale to their. Do they scale to their attack speed?
Um, you could. Interesting. Y- you could argue that they scaled to like key blast, and that's about it. For this, I don't know how you'd argue it, but you probably can. I don't know if I mentioned this within my other thing, but my current stance now is that this would be their attack speed, not their combat speed.
Wait, what? What's the difference? Wait, I mean, I'm not.
Oh
I know
yeah.
there's a difference.
Okay,
Like,
sketch out. Sketch out.
No. I mean, like, I feel like no. I understand the argument.
Ignore this.
Shit.
Ignore whatever cancer that was.
I mean, like, like you mean travel speed, not attack speed, right? Like combat and attack speed.
Yeah,
Isn't
travel
that, like,
is the speed at which body can move through space. Combat speed would be the speed that you can fight, and then attack speed would be like, let's say you have a Glock, your attack speed would be like the speed of sound.
Oh, okay. I thought those definitions were just mutually exclusive. Okay, I get it. That's all you had to say. You didn't have to go to sketch. I know you.
No, I have to whip out sketch. I know it's the only way that I can formulate thoughts. I unironically had like 2 pages of this just trying to describe space time, but we don't talk about that.
I think I remember you showing me that.
No, I made it like today.
Oh,
It
no,
was like
that's
some
different.
weird
Now,
stuff.
while most, even myself, would be quick to say that this is a clear example of the common mistake of claiming a byproduct of a character's attack must be equal to the user's combat speed. The counter that is often presented is that they often use ki to amplify their bodies to move faster and create stronger punches. Therefore, if Goku and Beerus are using ki whenever they're punching each other and they're affecting the entire macrocosm as a result, then they would be capable of traveling that same distance solely based off of the idea of ki amplification, which would result in both characters having demonstrated infinite speed. While I understand where the argument does take certain ideas into account to make the most sense of the initial claim, however, there's a lot of context that is being ignored in order to make this argument work. The first being that it was ki being dispersed across the macrocosm as they punched each other, when they were just simply powerful shockwaves that resulted from their punches, not ki. While most would be quick to point out that it must have been ki due to the fact that the shockwave ceased due to Goku learning proper ki control.
No, that's literally just because of force equalization. That's like blatantly stated.
While in its God form, however, there's many issues with this claim as well.
Yeah, it's basically just like it's literally just like the force is equally matched, so therefore it negates each side. That's like the whole point. That's why the angle is shown there, where it's like a perfectly flat line.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy to think. Every time in Dragon Ball Super, they just like even Broly when he was fighting,
it's like what the fuck.
Like like the reason why I bring up Broly because he was rampaging. That means.
Well, to be fair, they did start to break through dimensions, so.
That is true, but like but like at the start.
Yeah, at the start, it's still insane, but.
Yeah, like.
Because it'd be wild if it'd be like impossible to say that they're like not at the level of that fight.
Oh yeah. By the way, the super. I wonder if he's gonna bring up. People get mad at the super dimensional argument.
I don't know. I eventually need to like sit down in a chamber for 12 years and think about like every dimensional argument and like fucking outer argument for Goku and just like question life because I don't want to do that video, but eventually I will.
Wait, I'll actually help with that. But like, I was like, there's actually a few I've been questioning too. But apparently there's actually we'll talk about that.
Okay, 4 minutes in.
We got to properly define what ki is. Ki is the latent power that all beings have that exist within them. And just like Goku said in the Buu saga, and Toriyama reiterates the same sentiment, that the most important and the hardest part is the ability to control your own ki. It's with this concept of ki control existing within Dragon Ball that we're able to understand how characters could destroy the very planet they're standing on, but not do so whenever they fight, because they have a far better control over their ki output and the area of effect of said attacks, so they don't just randomly destroy everything around them whenever they fight. Which the Goku vs Beerus clashes is honestly one of the best modern examples of the importance of ki control, as Goku, who just got introduced to this new god power, where he almost couldn't control how fast he moved at the beginning of their fight, then had to finally learn how to control his power properly to where he cancels out Beerus' attacks. And it's due to Goku finally accomplishing this that there is no big endangerment of the universe being obliterated.
Yeah, so kind of similar to what I said
previously. So while ki is used to enhance their bodies so they can output greater force, the shockwaves themselves are not composed of ki. Just like how a shockwave from an explosion isn't composed of the elements that come from an explosion. It's a result that comes from an explosion occurring.
That's a good argument.
It's not a component of the explosion. And because we never see Goku travel alongside these same shockwaves, we cannot make the claim that Goku can travel just as fast as these shockwaves. Even
let me try to think for half a second of a way to argue around this, and if I can't, then we'll continue.
Yeah, I just want to point out. I just want to ask you a question. Like, I mean, it's been a while since I've read or watched this, but doesn't the Grand Kai, like, weren't they reacting or like able to perceive these attacks? And if these attacks traveled that distant, like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. I'm like, to be fair, you can track a fighting jet. That doesn't mean you scale to it.
No, but like they were on, like they remember, like they're on the fucking higher exist, like they were.
Oh yeah, they're they are in a higher realm, quote unquote.
Yeah, it's not like the humans where they were experiencing it, like the. Well, I'm pretty sure the Grand Kai was like visually, like looking, like he was visually perceiving those.
Well, he was like kind of like staring off into space, and well, actually, I'm pretty sure at one point it literally has the waves over him. So.
Well, yeah, they reached everything.
Yeah, like, I don't know. That's the only way that I could see arguing it. But then it starts to go into like, is that just a visual effect? And like, it seems a bit odd.
That's the only argument I would have.
Yeah, I agree. But that's like, it's a bit iffy.
I never actually used this as an argument.
Yeah, I don't know if I did in my old video. If I did, then I disagree with it. But I think my main argument for like travel speed and maybe it was maybe I did argue that the combat speed that they were doing, which is just blatantly wrong, as like you can throw a ball faster. It just still doesn't really matter. But within the aspect, yeah, you could argue maybe I don't know. But the main thing that I argued within travel speed was like the feat of going through the overworld or underworld and base across that
Wait, isn't
for
the
the
under
anime at
wait?
least.
Well, anime Goku's always gonna be stronger than Goku, but like for some reason, but like correct me if I'm wrong. Is hell located in Otherworld?
For anyone curious, the obvious answer is yes. I don't know why we went on a rant about this. I question our brain cells.
Wait, should we get back to the video?
Yeah, we should get back to the video. This is gonna take a minute. Well, I mean, like we're going on a side tangent for a reason, to be fair, but still.
And if we state this is true, that Goku and Beerus have infinite speed as a result of this feat, this would end up being contradicted by the instances where Whis is shown and stated to be vastly above both Goku and Beerus. As we know, many times in the
Yeah, that
series,
is also a
we see
very
Whis
fair point.
traveling across the universe at what is stated to be his top speeds, in which we are even given specified time frames and how long these trips are before they even
So that's my
occur.
dog,
Which,
sorry.
if we were to state Goku
Yeah,
or Skip,
like the only way you could argue around this, which is complete bullshit, but if you wanted to argue it, you could argue it. You would have to say that they're reacting to it in the future, which would be so stupid to argue, but
What?
You'd
Wait,
have-
but isn't Whis? That's only like travel speed, not combat. For Whis.
yeah, that's
It's only his
travel.
travels. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah, that's also another way of arguing it, but me.
the
Like,
opening
that's not
shockwaves
combat
created by their punches that travel across the macrocosm in a matter of seconds, then they would have to be faster than Whis in order for this to be the case, which just isn't true.
Again, I'm just saying that's only his travels.
This
Yeah,
is
His travels.
that's his travel, but
Like, didn't like Beerus fly the distance from his planet? to
yeah.
there
Also, at the same
faster-
time, Beerus
faster-
considered him slow.
Yeah, and also like that. So didn't like in terms of travel speed, Beerus traveled that distance faster than didn't he travel it faster?
He traveled it in like, I remember the timing was a minute across the nebula. But to be fair, we didn't see Whis do it.
Okay, sure, that's true, but still, it's only travel speed, combat speed.
Yeah, that's at very least massively faster than light within that. But within the aspect of like, yeah, it's
Wait, just-
travel speed as
wait.
opposed to combat speed. But you could argue yeah, you could argue universe size being infinite, so it wouldn't matter either way. But you would have to
Wait,
argue
aren't the
within the aspect of like. Also, what I was trying to say there before Crafty rudely interjected me was that you could argue that infinite speed would be the same within the aspect of like going across a universe and it's infinite distance. But the thing is, you would have to argue around the idea of, well, it's a shorter time frame, so it would technically still be faster. But yeah,
Wait, aren't the galaxies infinite distance from each other? So just to travel to another.
where is
Wait,
that a
isn't-
statement from?
Wait, I thought it says like the galaxies are infinitely apart or something. Isn't that what's stated? Like,
I don't remember that being stated.
wait. Let me check real quick. Let me. I don't. By the way, if Surfbone you're watching this, don't like clown on me. I'm just trying to like. I'm tired.
Also, my knowledge of the series is horrible. We don't talk about how I haven't seen most of Z, so keep that in mind.
Bro, what?
I haven't seen most of Z. Keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm gonna very quickly clarify that. I haven't seen most of Z in a very long time. Back when it was like, not when it was first airing, I wasn't alive then, but back in like a while ago, I watched it. But I have not watched it since, and it's been years. So I've watched it, but I haven't, because I don't remember it at all. So keep that in mind, that's what I meant.
I like inverse Dragon Ball. Wait, here, I think I found the statement. Look. Okay, wait, is this it? No, that's not it. Oh, here you go.
I just
Here's
like
it.
scaling Dragon Ball for the fun of it. Don't come after me, please.
In the Daizenshuu states, the galaxies which exist infinitely in. Oh, wait, what the fuck?
I think it just says there's infinite galaxies or something like that, and it's like arguably hyperbole, but anyways.
Whatever. Continue. Maybe it's not the case.
Infamous scene is what initially started this gigantic wave of immeasurable speed Goku arguments, in which people assume that because Goku moved within Hit's time skip dimension, that it was a product of him having immeasurable speed. Some would even go so far as to cite the English dub's interpretation of how King
I'm getting
Kaido-
called out. I'm getting called out.
Wait. Oh, that's what.
Oh wait, no, this is
describing
irrelevant.
them to back this up.
It is
Like,
kind of
no,
mid.
like, inside the dub, it's way better.
Martial arts, right?
Okay, so sub Goku is just fucking like not that.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. You predicted a few seconds in time. Yeah, so it's
I
just
mean,
blatantly different. Yeah, that's fair.
In the
Don't question the site that we're using at all. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. We just didn't have official scans on that at the time. Okay, we just needed to confirm.
dub, it's well, I mean, I don't see why it's a problem.
I think it's a decent problem because, or at least like, especially if you're trying to say more true to source material within that. Where is this at?
Way back there.
It's way back.
I mean, I use dub Goku.
Yeah. This is dub, and that's mid, and I'm getting incredibly called out by this man because I use dub, but
Well,
I
to be
didn't
f-
because
I
this is the reason why. Because I'm a normie and I watched it in dub, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna yoink this shit.
I'm just gonna say, well, if you just use visuals, he literally into the future. He doesn't predict. He
Yeah,
is just
that's
visually.
he'll probably
jumping into
address
the
that right
future.
now, but yeah,
I'm
it does
Translation
look very
is not
apparent.
only incredibly far off.
Call
of what
me
was
out,
said
but I
in-
use dub Goku. All right.
I'm gonna call you out. I do not
Alright.
agree with this man. I'm gonna call him out.
in the original
Imagine
Japanese
Surfer
dub,
just,
but
like, calls
people
me out.
coming to this conclusion means they have a complete lack of understanding of how Hit's time skip actually works.
If he
So,
uses the
how does it
manga,
work? Well,
then,
we
like,
get
you
a
have to
much clearer
separate.
answer during the Goku assassination arc, in which Vados explains that whenever Hit is using his quote-unquote time-related abilities, he's in actuality going into his own separate dimension and hopping back.
I
Wait,
can't read it.
when did this
can't-
happen? When the fuck
This is-
did this happen?
The Goku assassination arc.
I
Wait,
tried to find this, and what?
It's right. It's before
In
the
which
tournament
Vados
power.
Yeah, I tried to find this when I was like researching it.
What is he?
Huh.
What is he doing? It's not stopping time.
That whenever Hit is using his quote-unquote time-related abilities, he's in
Wait,
actuality
pause. Fuck.
that whenever Hit is using his quote-unquote time-related
Wait,
He
one
is
more
skipping
second.
over time. Further, Hit is able to store up time that he has skipped. Yes. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I remember this now.
Wait,
abilities,
yeah, so
he's in actuality going
Over the stored time, you can create another space. In other words, like a parallel. In other words, a parallel world. Yeah. Okay.
Wait. Isn't that in context of the specific ability he's using?
Yeah, that's in context of. I'm pretty sure at least that's in context of not time skip, but another ability. But I could be tripping.
Yeah, it's like that sounds like almost exactly like the ability he uses. You remember when like he's using against Goku in the tournament power, you know? But it's like inside this when he uses time skips, it's even explained by like Whis, Jocko, and the whatever called the other people that
The
he
answer
is
during
skipping through
in
time.
the Goku assassination
Yeah,
arc,
let me look.
in which
through
Vados
this. Yeah, cause like
explains
Jocko was like, huh?
that
And
whenever
so-
Hit is using his quote-unquote time-related
Yeah. He to be more precise, he is skipping over time. Further, Hit is able to store up the time that time he has skipped. So this is it's saying further, implying another ability.
Yeah, like that's
So
in context.
the only description is we got skipping over time, and the best way that I described this was, or the best way I could describe it.
What doesn't Jocko and Whis explain it better? Like, right?
I think they explained it, but let me see here.
Well, it's like they were only focusing on the time. Hit didn't have the other ability, or he didn't use it at least.
On other people stronger.
Yeah, he's using
So
manga.
Goku in the
He's
manga
using the
would not
manga.
have inaccessible speed or immeasurable speed due to Hit's abilities not working on him because Goku is stronger. For the anime, this is not directly stated, but before we get into that, what is time skipping? I think of it as stopping time, but with time still present. For example, let's say two balls are falling.
One of the balls skips forward through
How
time,
did you
but
do
both of the balls
this?
still had time present.
Pretty simple
It's just
edit.
that the ball that skipped is further into the fall. So relative to the ball that did not skip, it's like the other ball teleported. And relative to the ball that did skip, it's like time went on as normal, and the other ball paused. Now, Hit in the anime can do this for a short amount of time, about 1/10
Yeah,
of
it's like time skip, but weird. This is the best way to
He's
put it.
in actuality
Dragonball's
going
literally
into
just weird. So yeah, this is talking about his new ability he used.
I
like,
think
not-
at least, unless we're tripping. What episode is this?
Fuck, it's after Goku Black arc.
It's after Goku Black? I thought it was before.
No, this is why which is why I argue, which is why I argue that Hit is stronger than Goku Black, because he ironically killed Goku in this fight.
72.
That is after Goku Black, right?
I don't remember. It's been a
Wait,
fat minute.
How much money did Goku pay to kill himself?
Yeah, that's a really great question. What currency did he use? Oh, Goku just is dead here. Goku died.
I'm pretty sure there's no.
I don't remember this. This escaped my
Continue.
mind.
No one remembers this arc.
I genuinely don't remember this. This was deleted from my existence. When did this happen?
Just continue. It's okay.
I'm going insane.
Bro, just rewatch the anime. That's all I can tell.
Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly explain what happened here. So I've watched Dragon Ball Super at least like 3 times, probably 4, and I don't remember this at all. I think the first time I probably just didn't see it, and then the subsequent 3 times after, I had to have accidentally skipped over the episode or watched it when I was so tired that I don't remember it. I remember in research for this for my speed video, I saw a clip of this and I thought it was fan animation, because I was like, that doesn't look like an ability Hit has. I've never seen that ability. And then so I thought it was fan animation. And so I don't know how I wasn't aware of this, but I guess I just wasn't aware of this. I have no comment.
Cliff level.
What the fuck? I genuinely don't remember this.
Okay. Yeah, that. Okay, wait, yeah. Then wait, pause. Yeah, I think that's in context of the new ability, because remember, Goku couldn't touch or fucking, sometimes couldn't see him. So yeah, I think she's talking about the new ability.
It could be. I have no comment. I have genuinely no comment, because this was MK Ultra mind swiped from my memory, so I have no comment.
In this fight, he's not using only that ability.
Yeah, it could be that. I need to rewatch this. I have no comment. What the hell? How did I forget about that?
to his own separate dimension and hopping back out again. We even see this in action when Hit brings in someone that he was going to assassinate into this dimension.
Yeah, that's his
where
new
he
ability.
elaborates that in comparison to the rest of the world,
Yeah, it
time
blatantly
doesn't
looks
move.
different.
So after
Yeah, that's his new ability. That's the new
Like,
ability.
visuals are like a huge thing. This is the normal, or at least I think this is the normal one.
someone that he was going to assassinate.
Wait, unless I'm tripping.
Yeah.
Let me...
Just look
Where-
at the fight. Why don't you just look up the fight? Just look up Goku versus Hit right now.
Yeah,
So
here.
The product of him having
Oh, no, that is the normal one. Huh.
No, so it's like that one's blue. Wait, watch. Go to the. Wait, watch.
This one's
Go to-
blue,
Somebody
white-ish,
goes
and then this one
because
is...
of Vado, he's
But, like,
in
this one
actual
becomes
this in
crystal
action
and
when
white.
Hit brings
Look,
in
see,
someone.
watch.
Well, yeah, but it
That's
looks
normal
kind of
white.
similar.
Assassinate.
But
It's
yeah,
more
then it
white, yeah,
changes.
but that could just be
It's-
anime
yes,
being
it's-
anime.
No, but like that, it's consistently shown that's something different. Even sparkles happen.
That could just be anime being anime, let's be real.
But like,
This is also a filler arc, I think, so less
no, but like
production.
inside the tournament power though, that's when he uses this ability. Same thing when he uses time skip. It's the other thing.
I don't know. I've
into this dimension.
genuinely
saying it's
gone
consistent.
insane.
Elaborates that in comparison to the rest
It's
of the
consistently
world,
shown that's
time doesn't
his
move.
separate
So
ability.
after he kills him, it would look like to his subordinates that he died within an instant, because they were not pulled into the same dimension as he was. So whenever Hit uses his time skip, it would literally look like he teleported, as when Goku and Gang were first reacting to his fight with Vegeta, It was not until the
Yeah, that's
Galactic
regular
King was able to
timeskip.
decipher that Hit was using this ability did Goku then understand what was even happening, even implying
Well-
that if he were to fight in Vegeta's place, he would have gotten beaten down just as badly. So Hit isn't
Wait, I just
actually
want to say something
literally
real quick.
What?
Okay, one, like, see, it's different. You see, it's consistently shows it, but like, we get all. Besides that point, yeah, Goku at first was just like predicting. He explained that, but then we see he does just jump into the future, and with King Kai's dub.
Yeah, once again, I'll box you.
he's stopping time
Bro,
and moving
fine,
like
fine.
he's Dio
Dude,
from
right now,
JoJo's.
pause.
He's
You see that? You see Hit doing that? That's about me to you right now.
No, I'm gonna box you.
literally going into his own dimension and traveling to another position in space within his
I genuinely don't remember this. I've been MK Ultra mind swiped.
dimension and coming
Okay,
back
how do you
out.
not remember
Hence
this
why
though?
when
This was a cool thing.
I-
This was
Okay, I had to have, like, within the 3 times of me watching Super, I had to have accidentally skipped over this episode, like 2 of them. I have to be
when Goku
tripping.
figured that he would only be in said dimension for X amount of time,
I'm not even gonna lie. I genuinely, because when I was researching, my How Fast Is Goku video, I thought this was fan animation. I saw a clip of it, and I thought it was fan animation.
Huh? How do you think that?
Because the ability looks so much different, does it not?
It's a different ability he's using.
I didn't know that he had a new ability.
Did you not watch the Tournament of Power?
He doesn't use that ability.
Yes,
does he?
does.
I've
Yes,
been
yeah.
MK Ultra mind swiped.
Oh my god, how do you forget the Tournament of Power?
I need to rewatch Super. That's what I'm learning.
Yeah, I haven't
he
watched
would
Super
then
in
just
a
have to
good
predict
few years.
where
Nice
Hit would try to
match.
attack him in said
I also have goldfish memory, so we don't talk about that.
specified amount of time, in which he states it was fairly easy because Hit is very predictable. It's even
Well,
specified
yeah, this is
when
when
Hit
he
was
was
fighting
predicting.
Dispo that Dispo is that much faster than Hit. He was able to speed blitz Hit as he was able to
go
end
back.
because
Wait,
Hit is very predictable. It's even specified when Hit was fighting Dispo that Dispo is that much faster than
Wait,
Hit.
pause,
he was
pause,
able
pause.
to
But
I'm gonna box you.
fighting Dispo.
I
that
want to
Dispo
read it. Alright, right. Really, you had to pause it right when you
Focus
start this.
There.
Thank you. Right before you say shit. Just I mean, alright.
that much
I don't know
faster
what to
than
say
Hit.
about
He was
that.
able to speed blitz.
Yeah, I'm like, to be fair, that's, from my understanding, would be irrelevant either way. I'm like, if he's just time skipping with an ability, then, like, ignoring all the other stuff we're having, if he's just time skipping with an ability, before he used it, if he gets speed blitzed, then yeah, he's gonna get speed blitzed.
So that Dispo is that much faster than Hit. He was able to speed blitz Hit as he was able to enter his dimension, which just
Wait, no. It says, right before I use time skip, not during.
Yeah, and also he's not using the time dimension, he's using time skipping. That's 2 different
he was able
abilities.
to speed blitz Hit as he was able to enter his dimension, which Dispo states he's able to tell Hit was about to do this due to him.
Yeah, wait,
vibrating
yeah,
his
I
body.
remember. Wait, pause. I remember. He was just speed blitzing him before he could time skip because he could hear his muscles what they're about to do, and he was just faster than him, so he.
Yeah, that's not, he doesn't have activating his ability, it's just like he realizes it's about to happen, and then he just bodies
Yeah.
him.
Yeah,
At a
that,
different frequency. This is even shown to be how it works in the manga's interpretation
Hey.
of its time skip. As
Hey.
is pointed out by Goku,
Manga.
the
Hey,
no
reason
manga.
Hit hides his hands
No
in his
manga.
pockets is because it would give away whenever he's about to activate his time skip, which better helped Goku react to whenever Hit decided to use it against him. So
Am I tripping, or does he not? I don't know.
is not
I haven't
actually
read the manga in
stopping time.
in a minute.
You know, if you
entering
wanna
a
use
dimension
manga,
where
sure,
in
Goku
comparison
ain't
to the
that
real
fast
world,
in them,
time
but
isn't
I don't
moving.
use manga.
Similar to how with the room of spirit and time, a year passes in there, while outside only a day has passed. So even when Goku breaks into it, it has nothing to do with speed. Heck, we literally
Whoa.
see him destroy it with a Kamehameha within the Goku assassination arc. All Goku says in the anime is that because of the level
I'm gonna be real. I might need to rethink a lot of things. I don't know how I got MK Ultra mind swiped, but I did.
he's at
Also-
now, it doesn't matter how
I think he was just saying he was just strong than than Hit, and it didn't. The time skip, like that's why he's jumped into the future. It just didn't matter at that point, you know. Like he could, which is kind of crazy. He
Well,
could 10 times.
cause like within this example, it would be another time dimension, and he's just hopping into that time dimension, which in and of itself is a bit odd. I don't know where that would put. I don't think that would put you anywhere on speed. That's more of a power feat, but
That's more of Hit's, but Hit has two separate abilities: a time skip and that time dimension area. Whatever it's called.
well, yeah. Well, that's your interpretation. I still haven't watched that, or
You know
I
what?
have watched it,
After
but
the,
I've been MK Ultra mind swiped.
you know
So
what? I'm gonna fucking after this. I'll just show you. Watch the fight.
we'll see. Cause that is like a filler arc, is it not?
No, but he uses it in the tournament power though. That's why.
If he does, then I've genuinely. It's been how long since I've watched Dragon Ball? A
I'm gonna be
year
honest,
plus? Two? I don't know.
I haven't watched Dragon Ball Super since it ended.
Holy fuck! How do you have memory?
I remember from when I was born, bro. Like I
Yeah,
remember shit.
I don't remember what I ate this morning. Anyways,
Manga, it's verbatim stated that simply being stronger than Hit would cause you to not be affected by his abilities. So it's consistent across both continuities that Hit's time skip works.
well, I'm like, yeah, if it's consistent at both, like he said before, he established consistency. So you're gonna get negged in a debate, Crafty. You should have picked up on these details.
Hey, wait. But inside the anime, it's we were kind of discussing. It's a little different in the anime. Like he has two different abilities that do two different things. All right. And also, I would just
Crafty
argue...
wants to debate you, Surfbone, if you're watching this.
No.
His Discord.
No,
No,
I'm just... hey. Actually, well, if he asked me, I think I know Surfbone's Discord, actually.
Okay. Anyways,
I don't know.
we need to finish this. I've been recording for a long time.
Which properly leads into another infamous scene of Jiren moving while under the effects of Hit's time prison, or in the manga, it's referred to as...
Yeah, I completely disagree with this being, well, at least now, I disagree with it. In my video, I'm just like, yeah, if you agree with this being like him doing it via pure speed and it not being like a weird overpower thing, then sure, he has inaccessible.
Lag, which may be a separate ability.
Wait, that
but
wouldn't
still
even be
regardless.
that'd be immeasurable.
But people claim
based off that argument. That would, like, if he's
because
doesn't he
Jiren
transcend
moving while
time?
under its effects means that he's moving within zero time.
No, it would be inaccessible because you're moving in zero time, like as you just said there.
Oh, I'm dumb. Alright,
The
continue.
fact that Vados claims Jiren must be above time itself due to this, people then come to the conclusion that Jiren now has inaccessible speed. However, there are many things wrong with this interpretation and is the pinnacle of Dragon Ball fans can't read. But first,
I'm being
let's
called
go
out.
back to Hit,
Holy
as we
shit,
just went
that was a call out.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
We're good. I'm getting called out. Damn.
over.
Holy
Hit's abilities
shit,
are
bro.
based
That's
on the fact that he has access to a dimension.
We
where
ignore
time
this
doesn't
because I
flow
haven't read
in
this.
comparison to the
I
world,
am
similar
MK
to
Ultra.
how room and spirit and time works. However, as it was shown back in the Goku assassination arc, that Hit's abilities extend to also bringing in someone else into this same dimension with him, which was actually foreshadowed back in the Universe 6 arc, how Hit can actually, quote-unquote, stop anyone else's time. Which is honestly this arc, how Hit can actually, quote-unquote,
Keep in mind, we don't talk about my subtitles.
stop.
They can stop time for
Huh.
anyone else's time, which is honestly such a weird way to describe
Yeah, I need to get more official subtitles, to be fair.
his ability, since Goldo
We don't talk about this site.
fucking delete it.
I'm broke, okay?
Despite the fact that the way in which he manipulates time, or how it relates to him, is very different in how time applies to Hit's abilities, which ends up helping me in being able to better explain the idea of how a vague statement like this could accurately describe two
Wait,
characters'
for Galdo's case, remember correctly, he just holds his breath and
Yeah.
abilities while also being vague enough so that it doesn't inherently imply that both are the exact same. So that's just
Well,
explaining
they're
away
obviously
that
they're
statement.
not. One's
Let's talk
skipping
about when
time,
the
one's
ability is
stopping.
actually used. In the anime, we see Jiren enveloped in purple, and we are even shown that he's trapped within Hit's dimension. So not only is Hit capable of bringing people into his dimension, but trap people within it. In the manga, it's described as time being warped around him, so that causes Jiren to slow down. However, in both continuities, Jiren quite literally breaks out of both techniques. With the anime, multiple bystanders describe it as Jiren's strength being beyond time, not his speed. Besides people not realizing that part in all of these statements that they're blatantly disregarding or ignore.
Wait. So, it's stated in Dragon Ball if your power increases, your speed
that's the argument that you would
and I
probably use
know,
within that.
wait, and I know I saw Kuro Sensei, funny enough, make this argument. He said, like, something, he said just, it's like the amp doesn't have to be equal, like,
Yeah, it doesn't have to innately be equal. It's just that power and speed increase with each other, not necessarily
Yeah,
a multiplication.
but
It's just that they
I
increase.
would,
It's
I
like
would,
it's
I,
weird.
yeah, but I would argue, like, okay, if you're getting, like, okay, you'd be like an immeasurable amp. If you're getting an immeasurable amp, if the fact that they're supposed to be, like, for example, Birder and what's his face, they're like specific characters. That's like two specific examples. But in most cases in Dragon Ball, right, if you get stronger, your speed is stronger or faster, whatever. Like, if you get stronger, your speed is like kind of linked together. Like, it's not like if I get 10 times stronger, I'm only like 2 times fat. No, it's usually very similar, if not the same, right? So even if you argue it's not a completely equal amp, I would just argue the fact that it's like supposed to be similar to each other, right?
Yeah, well, I'm like, it's still a linear progression, so you could argue that this is like destroying time would be like, I don't know, an inaccessible or whatever the fuck you want to argue. So I'm gonna quickly cut in here. Destroying time like that would be really weird, in all honesty, with how you want to argue it with being a power gap. Also, if I'm gonna go against Crafty here for the lines of debate, I would be like, yeah, it's a manga statement. But ignoring that, it's interesting how space-time works, and I'll eventually make a video on it. I don't know when that will come out, so keep that in mind.
So isn't he doing that with? He's also doing that with his combat. He's also doing that with. He's using that strength and he's moving. Okay, I
Yeah,
sound retarded,
I know what you're talking about. That's an argument that I was thinking about for half a second. It's you're moving with strength. Strength could be correlated to speed within the aspect of like strength. Well, you punch ground strong. You can move at that. It's like it's interesting.
Use the first.
The first argument's way better than the second, to be fair, but
use the first argument. I sound retarded.
it's a really weird argument, and it'd have to be like something that you would not use on this level of intellect.
Yeah,
But
don't. Yeah, my brain just wanted that. I just feel like I had to mention it. I came out so bad.
yeah, I made it sound even stupider.
Yeah.
The main problem is people taking his strength is beyond time itself out of context, which is why there's so much confusion surrounding this feat. Context is what helps us determine the meaning
Wait,
of
fun fact. I'm sorry.
statements.
I could have swore Votto said he transcends time and space. Like, I could have sworn.
Wait, what?
Wait, when I first was scaling, like this is like not even. I had a fucking channel crafty, so I was really bad, right? I could have swore that's what was stated.
Your brain was probably like, ooh, time, space, duality.
Yeah, I probably associated that.
Yeah, that's probably some weird association thing. God damn it, Adam, I'm gonna box.
Just went over when we were talking about Goldo and Hit. When we insert context, things become
I just
want to
mention.
Clear. So when these characters are
I
talking
forgot
about strength
what
being
happens.
beyond time, then we have to ask ourselves.
Like,
Oh yeah, Crafty. We have 8
Okay,
minutes.
fine.
What did they just see that would cause them to say this? Hit versus Jiren, where Hit was using a time-related ability on Jiren, in which Jiren proceeds to overpower Hit and literally break out of it. So they're referring to Jiren being beyond Hit's time abilities, not Jiren being literally beyond time in every single facet. Because Jiren was trapped within a dimension that makes it seem like he isn't moving to the outside world, but ends up breaking out of it, with all the bystanders commenting on the situation as Jiren using his strength to accomplish this feat. To those who have watched Dragon Ball Super, this isn't a foreign concept. As we have seen, Vegeta literally power up so much to the point where he ends up destroying the Room of Spirited Time. So no, Jiren's feat isn't that impressive in itself.
Wait, I'm
What
curious.
is this argument?
Is it I told you about there's like these new statements, like these new Spanish guidebook statements that apparently the World of Void lacks the concept of time and space, right?
Oh, within that oh, the World of Void. Okay, yeah. I'm like, that's just a blatant translation within within like a statement from the narrator as well. It's weird. I disagree with it, but people argue it.
No, wait. Have you seen the new databook statement that's been going?
No, I genuinely am not very familiar. I haven't looked at dragonballscaling in a fat minute.
To be fair, I only know this shit because I'm in. Booga booga. Like,
you just say you cut out. Then all I heard was ooga booga. So you know.
Wait, no. Okay, let me re-say it. I'm in Drip Sauce's server, right? And like they're always like ooga booga, outer Goku,
Yeah.
So like that's
yeah.
that's why I hear all about all these weird ass statements,
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't looked. I've been out of Dragon Ball scaling for a fat minute.
Honestly, guys, don't scale Dragon Ball. Scale Chainsaw Man.
Scale any other verse, please.
Takes place in the World of Void, which some people say that due to the statement from Beerus that it's a world without time or space, that any characters simply moving in it grants them inaccessible speed. At least with the arguments regarding Hit's time skip, it makes sense how people misinterpreted the way that they did. But with the World of Void, there are just blatant story elements present that cause this conclusion to
I know what
contradict
Argon's
the
gonna
plot
use.
of the
I'm just curious.
turn
No,
of the
don't
power.
apologize. I think
For
I know.
instance, there is a literal timer in the World of Void that measures how long until the specified 48-minute turn.
Now, unless you want to start to get into concepts of meta time, which is,
Wait, so here's my argument, right? So, okay, so can I use? I'm gonna just use an example from Jujutsu Kaisen, right? In the prison realm, time is stopped, or some translations just time doesn't exist, right? But like you can have your own concept. Like if I dropped you in an area where just time doesn't exist, right? But you can have your own mental thought of time. Like you just simply argue.
yeah, that's what I
they're
mean
just,
by
like,
meta time. It's just weird.
You can just
But the thing
argue
is,
they're
it wouldn't
just-
be consistent across each person unless you have some weird like Baki level like cross hallucinations.
No, okay, so like no, it's like okay, they don't. I don't think the fighters are really focusing on the time limit. With that big like thing going down in the middle, right?
Yeah.
That's like supposed to be like a little timer. Like it's like each time it goes down, like maybe like I forgot the exact, but like some that's like give like oh so and so much time, 10 minutes pass when each thing goes down, right? Like like they if you for example, you put a bunch of like humans in a place, let's say 10 humans, you put them in a place of no time, it just exists. But like you tell them, oh, you get out in like 5 minutes. Unless unless they're all super nerds and they're like counting each second, right? Like they're gonna have a similar concept of time, Like you're like if I put some, like this, I would just simply argue.
Well, the thing is,
just
each
them
person's
keeping-
perception would be on a different level. This is just weird. This is headcanon at this point. That's the thing.
The way I would argue, I would just argue that they're not adding. It's not like physical time exists there, like the actual concept or abstraction exists there, but like they're keeping a mental thought or a mental. Like,
I think
they're using
that's
their own
just
concept.
headcanon. There's not really much to support it.
Well, Beerus says "fuck you." All right. So continue.
Okay.
Tournament ends. Even if they were truly moving at inaccessible speeds, then the tournament would have ended in literally no time at all. And the whole point of there being a timer to specify when the tournament ends would be an irrelevant plot point.
Wait,
as
wait,
well
pause.
as the fact that it's stated.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, fucking. It really would be an irrelevant plot point if they're all like, yeah, my headcanon is, or like their own headcanons of what time progressing is weird.
I mean, to be fair, Dragon Ball characters are decent. It's been shown that they just like they do like for example, the 5 minutes Frieza shit. They can keep a track of time. Like these are the same people that can for some reason, every time they fight, they evenly punch at the same angle, so they just don't nuke everything. You know, so
Well, okay, within
like,
the Broly example, that's probably just like Goku and Vegeta like adapting themselves. Broly probably isn't the one doing that. Or
well, no,
even
but
if they
like,
are doing it, and like Broly's key control is ass. So
well, to be fair, he did just nuke a dimension because he doesn't have
yeah,
like,
well, I mean, like that
Broly's
was with Vegeta, anyways. But
well, I mean, yeah, but like what I was trying to say, like again, my simple argument, they're just having there's like, what if you put me in a void, like a room with no time exists, but you gave me like one of those classic old timey, like stopwatches. The
Crafty, think
mechanisms.
about think about for half a second what you just said.
What?
Clocks don't really work in a place with no time.
No, like, are you saying the machine? Okay, in this case, the machines can work. Okay, I'm saying the machine
They
can.
can't unless they have some weird meta time.
No, no, no. Okay, look. What's the stuff? Let's say in this place, time doesn't exist, right? But of course, I can move there. Things can move time, like the
That would
hand
be
of the
going into
clock.
meta time.
Just hear me out, okay? I don't want to hear about your science bumble jumbo.
You
Find
think
God,
I
all right?
understand meta time? No.
No, why don't you just find God, all right? Fuck science, find God, all right?
Based.
No, but like, so like, you know those you turn the thing as tick 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 ding. You know those things, right? I don't know how to explain it, okay? But you know those clocks, right?
Yes.
Right? Let's say you put me in a place with no time. I just turn the handle. There's nothing on. I mean, of course, technically, if time stops, no motion can happen or some shit like that. I don't know, but like in this case, motion is present. Whatever. All right. That clock is still gonna tick, and that can be my own concept of time. Like they can keep their own concept of time.
I,
Saying
let's just continue.
that's just
Let's just
simply how I would
continue.
argue
End of
it.
nearly
I'm
every
just sounding
episode,
more.
how many minutes
Look. If I
passed
was in a debate,
or
I would
how
argue
long
this.
It's
All right.
getting into weird meta time, and it's like, yeah, at this point, each time is subjective, and it's like it becomes meaningless, and it's like it would be reliant on what their perception. If it's reliant on their perception, then that would mean that
Well,
it's.
the
It's just like, come on, man.
okay, look, the fucking elder. What's the grand
Grand
fucking? What's
Priest.
the what? And thank you, Grand Priest. He's obviously
We are 2 IQ.
yeah. He's obviously the head time, and also you could just argue since that big pillar going down is supposed to be like a oh so and so time has passed that they're keeping track of that. You know, like that's a good like which logically they would do. Wait, what happens if no, wait, that just continue.
Let's just continue.
tournament ends. Also, there is just a scene shown in the anime where the Universe 2 fighters are attempting to get love from the universe's inhabitants.
Oh, that. Okay.
And we see the Tournament of Power.
I really need to rewatch Dragon Ball, man. Like, all of it.
Screen to them in real 1-to-1 time. Unless we're going to bite the bullet and say that everyone watching the Tournament of Power from Universe 2 is inaccessible speed, this would utterly debunk this argument. Also, if everyone now just has inaccessible speed, kind of makes the previous feat from Jiren pretty lackluster if it was supposed to be a
Wait, wait, not real.
I used to argue this in comment section. It was really funny. People would be like, well, that would mean that Krillin has, like, inaccessible speed. I'm like, yes.
I mean, yeah. Oh, I just want to say, right? Like, if you transcend time, that is vastly greater than existing in a place of time. Like, in that case, you can like time. You don't have time doesn't apply. Like you can't
Well,
be
yeah,
defined.
you could argue that it. Well, I mean, like, it transcend is just to go beyond the range or limits of something. So if you're like moving without time, you could argue that's kind of transcending it. It's more like just being outside of the limits or being outside of it. So it's not necessarily going beyond. It's weird.
That's why transcending time is just like generally seen better than existing with no time.
Yeah, generally, but it's interesting.
Inaccessible speed. So time not existing within the world of Void makes little to no sense when, you consider the plot of the series and what's more consistent to be the case. Now that we've properly addressed all the arguments regarding Hit and the Tournament of Power, it's time we address some of the weird.
Oh, he
instances
didn't
during
mention
Future
the
Trunks
wait,
arc,
pause,
which are honestly
pause.
the
He didn't mention the new statements about where states.
Okay, I've yet to see these statements. Proof.
You know what? Oh, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go grab it.
Wait, no. We have 50. We have 5 minutes, Crafty. 5 minutes.
Far more confusing instances
alright.
that people interpreted as relating to a demonstration of speed. More specifically, what happens when Zamasu tries to become one with space and time, and what occurs after Zeno kills him. So when Zamasu gets sliced in half and disappears, he seemingly becomes back as this astral corporeal being that is attempting to become one with space and time, quite literally fusing with the universe to become the ultimate justice and overseer of everything. Now, the argument people are making is that because we see him begin to quote-unquote travel to the main timeline as well, that it's a demonstration of immeasurable speed. But
Wait, what?
is it really? Remember, the only reason Goku Black was able to originally travel back to the main timeline where future Trunks had ran off to was because the time ring sensed a disturbance in time.
He was like, well, how are people arguing this?
That's a
Which
weird
then the
argument.
ring created a rift in space-time.
If anything, that's not like fucking immeasurable speed. That's just going to a different timeline. I'm like, it's a bit mid.
Wait, that wouldn't be immeasurable speed.
Well, you could argue maybe it's immeasurable speed, but it's mainly the time ring, as he's
that
about to
allowed
say.
him to be able to travel there. And where does Zamasu appear when he begins to fuse with the main timeline? In the exact same spot where the rift had been opened. And keep in mind, Zamasu would still have the time ring at this point, so it's even more likely that he would have had to use its abilities to allow himself to be able to
Wait,
see
he
into
has
main
the time
timeline.
ring? I
But
thought he's
even
just
if we discounted all of that, then we have to ask ourselves, what is Zamasu doing here? Well, as stated previously, his new state of being is now becoming the physical universe, and he's essentially going around like a virus, spreading and expanding his influence everywhere so he could become justice and order. He's not performing a movement where he's going so fast that he's now capable of time travel. That's not what's happening. Zamasu is becoming omnipresent, where the universe is now his new state of being. The context just doesn't align with this interpretation.
But wait,
that the
didn't he have to
reason was able
travel to the parts of? Like, I know he's already.
Yeah, it's more like
Travel.
he just like absorbed it, quote unquote. He
Like,
just
he's still-
became one with it. It's not necessarily like he expanded and then became one with it. He just became one with it.
But we see when he covers the earth, he just spreads, you know.
I mean, like he might have just absorbed that. I don't know. I need to rewatch everything. Okay. I have 2 brain cells. What time is it? It's not very late, but I sleep early.
there.
I'm your second brain cell.
Okay,
to
we are
his
2
raw
brain cells
movement speed.
combined.
It's even more inconsistent for that to be the case when Goku and Vegeta, who are both so drained from fighting as Vegito and giving all their reserves to Trunks to finish off Zamasu, that they can't even transform. And they were shown reacting to and blocking attacks from this version of Zamasu. Just to recap, few Zamasu was able to fight these guys at their most powerful and have shown prior
Well,
feats of being
Vegito's debate. Wait. Okay, this is where I come in because I like me in. It's actually more implied that Vegito wasn't really trying at all. At least, well, for sure. When the anime, it's actually implied that he wasn't like the way how Vegito fights. He likes to mentally break you down and not try. So in this fight, we actually do see he's trying to mentally, like we see like he's making fun of him, like, oh, you're a god, but you can't beat a mortal. Like we even willingly let him hurt him with his like stabby sword keyblade, so he can be like, ha, I can do it too, right? So like, he like and Vegeta wasn't really trying against Zamasu. That's inverse. I will take you on. Like I take Dragon Ball inverse anytime.
Okay, you challenging him? Okay, have fun with it.
to be faster than light. And Goku and Vegeta haven't recovered, let alone healed after the battle, and they're now shown to be able to react to the attacks of Astro Zamasu, who, if he was immeasurable speed, should have become more than infinitely faster than them at this point. So are we about to say that Goku and Vegeta have also shattered the same barrier because they reacted to Zamasu's attacks? And before someone brings up the whole attack speed thing I mentioned earlier as some kind of gotcha, unless we're about to say that these attacks are that much slower than Zamasu's own reaction time, in which he should be able to react to his own movement speed, by the way, then attempting to salvage this argument by saying that his attacks are more than infinitely slower than his own reaction time is completely nonsensical. Now has come to the part where I've been dreading. The weirdest.
I'm pretty sure it's implied that because of Saiyan go crazy strength boost out of nothing, right? Wasn't it? Didn't Goku, like, it was kind of implied they got strong. Beat him if I had a sensu, and like I don't know. You can just argue that. Couldn't you just argue that Zamasu didn't put a full force beam into as they didn't just die. You know, like just.
I have no comment.
Whatever.
My brain is becoming mentally ill at this point.
Yeah,
The most controversial.
I also have not, like, yeah, as I said a while back ago, I have skipped over Goku Black a couple times, and I've also been mentally ill upon. I just can't remember a lot of shit from
surrounding
Super.
The subject of Goku having inaccessible speed, and it's this instance in the manga where Goku goes out to grab Zeno after he erased Zamasu. The argument being that Zeno erases Zamasu from existence, and Zamasu was fusing with space-time. Therefore, this would now be a timeless void, and moving within it would grant you inaccessible speed. Now, out of all the arguments I've seen, this one I can understand where people were confused with how to take this, because it's such a weird scenario that most people just want to forget even happened. So they wouldn't even have to bother with explaining to someone the
One thing that's weird about this is how they travel to a point that doesn't have time if they're using a time machine, but...
Well, here's an argument. Kind of like the time machine itself isn't just time travel. It's kind of like a portal. Like it can teleport to separate dimensions, like parallel universes.
Well, it's not even a dimension. Well, I mean, like, it could be argued to be a quote-unquote dimension. It doesn't have space nor time, presumably.
Well, it's non-existence. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what to call it. This.
Yeah, it's weird.
But, like,
issues
I would just
with Goku
the argument
possibly
I've seen
having
is it just went back through like the wormholes to travel to that area. Since it's weird. I don't really use that argument.
Yeah, I used to argue with an anime at least that you could argue that he's not even like absorbing space time, but I'd have to look back on Black, the Goku Black arc, because I don't remember it. I don't know if there's any statements that he's specifically going to absorb space time, because I just argued that he was absorbing, like, he was being omnipresent throughout space and not necessarily all of time, and was starting to go through other timelines. But I don't know anymore, because I apparently am not a reliable narrator anymore.
Bother with explaining to someone the issues with Goku possibly having inaccessible speed in order to do what he did. Even Seth didn't know how to address it in his supposedly perfect Goku video. So let's finally address it. The main issue with this argument is that it's conflating the idea of existence erasure and conceptual erasure. While Zamasu was erased from existence along with the contents of the timeline such as the other universes, however, that doesn't mean the rest of everything else like the concepts of space or time no longer exist there.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
If you erase the concept, isn't there a difference from erasing space?
Like, you could think of this as like a parasite. If a parasite is infecting the host of something and you kill off the parasite, that doesn't necessarily mean that the host will immediately die. The host in this example would be space-time.
I guess it's true.
Essentially what happened was the equivalent of you erasing the contents of a save file. There is still space in which a new file can be inserted. The slot itself did not get erased from existence. The save file itself did. Just like how when Zeno erases people from existence, he doesn't erase the space in which the characters previously inhabited. Remember, Zamasu was fusing with the universes, the timeline, and was spreading around like a virus. So when he got erased, the timeline and the other universes within Future Trunks' timeline were
Just for
erased
that
as
point.
well. But because he wasn't successful with properly infecting the
You don't
main
like my
timeline,
videos.
we only see him disappear
Yeah, your videos get thumbs downs all the time.
from the timeline.
Screw your videos.
With him. So even
You know,
though it was just an empty void, it doesn't mean it's devoid of the concepts of space and time. Heck, in the anime, it's not this white or black void, it's actually a background that is similar to the background that contains the world of void. So just more evidence that it is
Wait,
just
but
an
doesn't the
empty
world of
void
void not
that
have-
goes.
The world of void doesn't have space or time in it.
Like, it blatantly stated that it doesn't have space or time. The headcanon that I had was that, like, the quote-unquote headcanon that I had was, like, he added time and space to it. I think that it could just be a mistranslation, and he could just be saying like, or because I don't know the proper translation. It could be that the scan that I always use is like a mistranslation, and it's just meaning separated from space and time, so separated from the other universes, as opposed to like actually
no,
lacking
like,
space and time.
even here, it's even the scan he showed was the same thing. But I'm assuming
I don't know.
my argument.
Goku flew in.
Fuck it.
So yeah,
Fuck you.
nothing impressive here. And that should be everything. Hopefully this will be
Amazing. I'm gonna title this video 2.5 brain cells.
Yeah, actually, that's funny.
2.5 brain cells react to surfbone.
Wait. I want to read the argument.
Yeah. As for the granola feat, which I completely forgot about, besides the fact that Vegeta literally states he's using a technique superior to instant transmission, meaning he's not the speed to overcome this technique, but instant transmission is strictly teleportation. I think he's just referring to like instant transmission, like being, yeah, like, you know, instant, quote unquote.
Well, if you use that one, I mean, I could have swore there's also another statement that, like, it was just like his speed could do. I don't know. I have to reread that. It's like people use that argument. Or maybe Granola further clarifies that that's not I forgot. I have to reread that chapter. So I remember someone I think.
But instant transmission isn't strictly which is especially contingent on the reaction speed and comment speed of Goku to move his hand to his forehead to activate it. I thought he caught it mid teleportation. I could be tripping.
I have to reread that chapter.
I don't know. Yeah. My conclusion is that I need to most definitely rewatch everything and rethink everything because I have one brain cell at 11 p.m. So if Surfbone, if you're somehow watching this, yeah, I don't even know what to say. Debate crafty, go fun.
Wait. Don't do that.
He called you out 14 times. He's the main disagreeing with you. I just realized that I don't remember super properly. He imploded. Have fun.
But I just had a few disagree. I think we have difference in opinions, but I did like some of the points to point out. But don't debate me. But if you do,
Yeah, debate him. He's open to debates. Have fun.
No, I will stand my ground.
Alright, so now that that's over and I'm a bit more awake, there are some claims that I disagree with Surfbone's arguments, and I need to like rewatch Dragon Ball because I just forgot a lot of stuff that happened within it. I also haven't scaled it in a minute, so yeah. I also am not very aware of guidebook statements and stuff. But Crafty's probably like, if Surfbone, if you're someone watching this, Crafty might actually be down to debate. I don't know. But aside from that, this was optimized, and I'll see you in the next one.